Do you ever really get frustrated with yourself? Or maybe a better question might be, when was the last time you got really frustrated with yourself? And then what do you do when you get really frustrated with yourself? When you do something that you wish you wouldn't have done, or you try to do something and then you don't do it successfully, or you fail at it or something. And well, this has happened to me recently, so I wanted to talk to you about it and share with you what I learned through this. I come on here and tell you I love you, and I'm going to share this with you because I love you. I got really frustrated with myself today. And one of the things that helps when we get really frustrated with ourselves is to stop and pause for a minute and take a deep breath to collect ourselves so that we can deal with whatever it is we're dealing with. Because I had to learn this because there was a time when I lived in what I wrote in a blog post, in the land of beating myself up all the time. I used to live there, and I would try so hard I would hurt myself physically to do stuff. I would get so frustrated, and I would try so hard that I would actually physically injure myself. And that's not good for me, and it's not good for anyone else. And when you get frustrated, what do you do? What happens? How do you behave? How do you treat yourself or treat other people, perhaps? And so collecting ourselves and taking a deep breath, then we can go on to the next thing. We can evaluate what's going on here. Why am I so frustrated? Am I expecting too much from myself? Are you expecting too much from yourself? Are you expecting yourself to be superhuman? Are you expecting yourself to learn something in 13 seconds that takes 5 years? Or evaluate the situation. What's going on here? What's really happening? Did you do something that you said you would never do and it keeps happening? And so you're repeating an action. Or what is the core of this frustration? Once you calm yourself enough so that you can take that look inside and find the source of that. And then you can decide on the next thing. If you're being too hard on yourself, then it's time for some self-love, to forgive yourself for your perceived sin against yourself because you weren't perfect. And then you move on to give yourself grace to move forward. But if that's not the issue, then maybe you're trying to do something that maybe you shouldn't be doing. Maybe you're trying to learn a skill that you're not suited for, and it's time to say, well, I gave it a shot, and it's time to quit, because the line that, winners never quit is not true. There is a time to quit. There are things to quit, and there is a time to push through. And trying to push through when you need to quit will cause a lot of frustration. It's like, I injured myself when I was playing softball before. I suck at softball. And I needed to quit because I was not any good at it. And I couldn't have any fun at it either. All it did was cause frustration. So if you're trying to do something that's all it's giving you is frustration, maybe it's time to quit that thing. Or if it's something that you do need to evaluate and you do need to move forward through, then maybe you need to make a plan. You need to make a plan break it down into baby steps of little things you can do and chart your victories along the way. If it's something that you want to stop doing, maybe you keep track of it, on a calendar or something like that. But give yourself the grace to be a human, because you'll fall down again. You will make a mistake again. You will not get it perfect. And so give yourself that grace. And as many times in this process, from the beginning of the frustration to when you get the victory, because you will get the victory if you don't give up on yourself. Stop and take that deep breath over and over and over again. It will center yourself. It will bring you back to a place where you can act with intention. Because the kind of love that we are supposed to have for ourselves, the Bible calls it fervent. And what that means is intentional. So to have intentional love for yourself. And it says that that fervent love covers over a multitude of sins. And when we get frustrated with ourselves, we perceive that we've committed some heinous act. And chances are it really isn't the end of the world that bad as we are beating ourselves up for. So I wanted to encourage you with that today, to give yourself grace, take a deep breath, evaluate your situation. Why are you frustrated? And do you need to move forward and break it down into smaller things? Or do you need to stop what you're banging your head against the wall trying to do? You need to love yourself because you matter. I love you. I'm Danielle Burnock, that lady on the internet who loves you. From DanielleBurnock.com, love yourself from survive to thrive. And you won't thrive if you're living in the land of frustration. And we all get frustrated. So there's no condemnation for that either. Don't beat yourself up for getting frustrated. That's what humans do. We get frustrated. That's one of our emotions that we have. And so you're a person. You're going to have emotions. They're going to get unruly and messy all the time. And then there's nothing wrong with that. What we need to do is then we take ownership of them. We bring ourselves back to center, back to calm, back to where we can make intentional decisions. And then we're in charge of what we're doing instead of that emotion that has wanted to carry us down the river. So you can thrive. Love yourself. I love you. Until next time.